most fun times that we have, because we get to hear a lot of guys sing, a lot of our singers sing, and we start to find what kind of is your most difficult tension in your singing. All right, and there are three biggies. And one we've already talked about, but it's not in the three. The one is this: if your shoulders get involved, you're going to have a lot of tension in your voice. Because everybody do that. Lift your shoulders. Feel your neck. Feel how it just kind of makes everything tense around here. Okay. All right. Particularly if you have a collared shirt on like me, but that just you feel like, oh, can't be good. This doesn't feel good at all. All right. So we're going to leave that out. In the instrument itself, we have three big types of tension, and almost everybody, and I mean everybody, has some of them. Has some of one of them. Some of us have two. Some of us have three. And some are really, really pronounced, and some of us are really easy for some of us to get rid of. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 years of really good vocal training to really get rid of these tensions. So let's talk about them. Number one is probably our easiest one to get rid of, and that is the jaw tension. And the jaw tension typically happens, and when you go up a scale, the jaw has a tendency to go kind of out of whack, out of the plane, and sing like that. So when you're going up a scale, very common amongst changing male voices. I mean, you kind of see it in your mind, can't you? You see a middle school choir, the kids, right? That is very, very common. And the other thing that happens is that the head gets out in front of the body when that happens. Okay? Now, they're trying to help them. There's a legitimate reason they do that. These muscles in here really like to get involved with singing. All right? However, they can get involved without any of that other stuff going on around it. All right? Because we want these muscles involved. The thing as it is, and particularly in our style, if you do jazz, if you do a barbershop, these muscles actually help you with holding straight tone sound. A straight tone sound. So for instance, if you sing in a band group that doesn't want a lot of vibrato there in your sound, if you sing in a vocal jazz group where you're one of those harmony singers and you got to be, just right on the center of the pitch. If you're in a barbershop quartet and you're not the lead, usually you're probably singing with a little bit of straight tone at points. All right, and those muscles do help that. All right, but this is not the way to get there. All that does is add a whole bunch of problems down in here. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, guys, and let's try this, is I want you to think about laying on your couch, not laying on your couch, you're sitting on your couch in your recliner. You're sitting on your recliner and you've just fallen asleep. Where does your jaw go? Try it with me. I don't know anybody who falls asleep like this. Maybe a bird. All right? That jaw out. What happens is the jaw relaxes back. Everybody say that. I feel that's really good. That's kind of yawn feeling to it, right? Yeah, good. I got a couple of you. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so what I want you to try, guys, and we're going to try this on an aw. And go ahead and sit nice and tall if you would for me. This is going to be just on an aw. You can take either octave you want. Here we go. 1, 2, breath starts. About a 10-degree difference. Here, straight up and down. 10 degrees and relaxed. Hear the difference in resonance? You try it. Here we go. I want you to go from wrong to right. We're going to start wrong. I'll direct you. Here's wrong. Go. It's just a matter of where that chin goes. The chin falls back towards your neck a little bit. So try that in this exercise. Here we go. 2, and ready, and oh. So some of you may have already been there, and it's very natural for you if you have any training. It's pretty natural. You don't think too much about it. You don't think too much about it because this is space back here. Oh. And this important space happens right back here where the tragus is. All right. So reach right in front of your ear. All right. And right behind that little flap. Okay. Sorry, towards your face. All right. Just when you open the jaw correctly, you're going to feel a hole develop there. Oh. Okay. Feel that? Oh. Now, while you're still holding that, do that same exercise. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready, go. Now, I want you to close the jaw a little bit. I want you to sing the same thing without that hole. Ready, go. Good. Open up again, make the hole 2, and go. Okay, the important part of space in the singer is right back here. Right back by your molars. This is really not so important. If you notice, we don't sing a lot. If you notice really good choirs, anybody, you're going to notice that nobody really sings like this. This kind of garage door flapping thing, all right? It's just not, I mean, it just hurts. If you do it 3 times, I guarantee you, especially you guys with TMJ, you're going to hate me. I mean, it just really doesn't feel very good. Okay, so what we do is we keep this space more around 2 fingers, 1 to 2 fingers. And we really open up the back. Okay, and that's the important part. Okay, good. So number 1, chin. That chin really can cause a lot of tension, and particularly when you're going to the higher part of your range. So you may be asking, well, I can't make a sound if I don't sing like this when I go to the top part of my range. Oh, yes, you can. You just got to let yourself go into your upper voice. Okay? Because otherwise, you're going to end up hurting yourself. This is one of the things that really strains the vocal cords more than anything else. When you go up a scale, I mean, you can hear the stridency, right? So if I don't want to sing that top note as loud, I have 2 choices. I go as loud and really make sure that I pile some air into there. And make sure my jaw's in the right spot. Or I could go to a softer sound. With more of a mix of my voices. Okay? Right, so, number 2. This one is probably the next most difficult to deal with. Some of you will be able to fix it like that. Some of you may have a little more trouble with it, and it's the tongue. The tongue, as a general rule, really likes to play for singers. It wants to get in and get involved when it doesn't need to get involved. Everybody say "n" for me. No. Everybody say "n" for me. No. Everybody say "t" for me. Good. Now say "ah." Ah. Good. Your tongue doesn't have to get involved at all in the vowels, and vowels are 95% of what we do. Okay. The tongue. If you imagine this as my bottom teeth, this is where my gum ridge starts. That tip of that tongue, anytime you sing a vowel, should be just lightly resting right there. Okay, so everybody sing for me. Oh, here we go. Good. Now I want you to pull it back, and you start to get a little bit of a Kermit the Frog type of sound. Listen once. You talk about Jim Henson. I mean, he just had a lot of tongue. Gomer Pyle, all right? It's amazing that Gomer can talk like that and then sing so well. So anyway, but let's Jim Neighbors, amazing voice. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to have you sing "Me, Me, Ma, Mo, Moo," and I want you to. I'm going to invite you to put that tip of that tongue right back down there every single time. Okay, here we go. Me, 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 Ma. Go to this chord. Here's bass, here's baritone, here's leads, and here's tenors. Still me, me, ma, mo, mo. Ready? And go. Me, me, ma, mo, mo. Good. I'm going to add a level of difficulty. I want you to sing mean, main, mon, moan, moon. You're going to put an in at the end of each one. Okay, it's going to be a little more difficult, but really think about where that tongue goes. Here we go. Me, me, So here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to actually think about, actually I should try to break that habit. And the habit breaker for me is to think of a D. Mead, made, mod, mode, mood. Say it. Mead, made, mod, mode, mood. With all those vowels, that D is about the perfect placement for your throat. You think about that D is going to finish it. So what I do as a singer is I think I'm going to sing mead, and I place my tongue like I'm going to sing mead, and then I change it right at the end. Mean. Okay, change it. Try it for me. Here we go. Mean. Good. That makes sense? Okay, good. All right, and again, it's just a nice little trick, and boy, I tell you, it helps just make it so much easier for your vocal cords to do that. Okay, so again, jaw, tongue, right there in the front. Okay, here's problem number 2 with the tongue. You thought you were done, didn't you? You were hoping. All right, the tongue, as a general rule, if it's sitting inside my mouth, should have a little ridge to it. Okay, here's the back of my tongue down here in my throat, the tip of the tongue out here. There's a little ridge to it. All right, what happens to a lot of us in our high range, in particular tenors, is that you start to see this happen. The tip of the tongue comes up, this flattens out, and it kind of gets hollow. All right, and we can go through and find out if that's happening to anybody, or you can go home and check in your mirror. Okay, just sing a vowel, especially an ah or an o, and find out if you've got that little depression in your tongue. That means you got a little bit of tongue tension. And what you need to do is just get that relaxed. Let that relax right back to that spot. Okay, think about it. Let's go back to our chord. Here we are. This is bass. Let's kick into this key. Wow. Good. Spare tongue. Tenors. Leads, right? And tenors. Here we go. So, mi, be, ma, mo, mo. And really think about that tongue being relaxed. 2, and ready, and go. Mi, be, ma, mo, mo. Yeah, there's a lot of ring in that. That's nice. Nice. Very nice. Right? Okay, last one. Toughest one to get rid of. If you have this, I apologize right off the bat because it's the hardest one to get rid of. You have to think about it. It's larynx tension. All right. As a general rule, when your larynx is in the proper singing position, everybody start a yawn for me. All right. Now try it one more time. I want you to put your finger right in your Adam's apple. Here we go. Yeah. Feel that? You gotta start that yawn that drops. And typically, the beginning of a yawn is about a perfect placement for a singer. So the larynx should drop just a little bit when you sing. And what happens to a lot of us is that the larynx wants to get involved and go higher as we go higher. All right? And so what I'm going to ask you to do now, let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to sing this exercise. I want you to sing all the way up a scale like this. All right? And you're just going to very lightly keep a finger on your Adam's apple. Here we go. On, 2, ready, and go. Very nice. Good. Oh, ready, and go. You guys are already cheating, I can tell. I got it now, I can keep it down. Now, I just want you to try to do it naturally, but you're already singing with a better sound. I can tell you're thinking about it. So I want you to try to just relax as much as you can. Let's try it on an E, and I'm going to take you a little bit higher. Here we go. 2, and E, go. Now, some of you, now I can start to hear that tension come back in a little bit. Okay? So here's the trick. For most of you, well, not most of you, probably 2/3 of you, you're going to be able to just fix it thinking about it. And you are blessed. You are a blessed soul. That is you. All right? I was not that blessed. And a lot of people can. Probably about 2/3 of people can. So try it again. E, and this time do think about it. See if you can just keep it there just by manipulating the sound a little bit. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready, me. Good. Yeah, good for you. Very nice. That's excellent. Okay. How many guys that thing is just going right up there? All right, good. There's a lot of us, and I knew there would be. So now I want you to, this is how you work on it. Okay. I want you to start down here, and we're going to jump from 1 to 5 on an ah. Okay. And we're just going to kind of go back, probably back and forth about 8 times. And I want you to just try to manipulate that, so not hold it down physically with your hand, but see if you can manipulate the sound a little bit. It's going to sound probably a little bit more operatic to your ears when you first figure out how to do it. Doesn't have to stay operatic, but it's going to sound a little bit operatic when you first fix it. Here we go. 1, 2, all, ready, and go. Very nice. Try to E, and 2, and ready, and go. Progress that was struggling before? Good, good, very nice. That's a good sign. Have a seat. All right, so just kind of go again, kind of quick review, reminding you everything that we've talked about. It all starts and begins with breathing. Breathing is the #1 thing that I don't care what level you are. So it does not matter. It's one of those things that makes the very amateur singer much better, and it just incrementally gets better. You breathe more correctly all the time. You breathe with less tension all the time, and you use the breath accordingly all the time. So breathing is always going to be that golden elixir, if you will. All right. Then little things we talked about. Of course, the jaw. I call it the 10-degree plane. Have you ever seen me up in front of the chorus doing this? Immediately, you know, okay, I'm going to get that jaw relaxed and let it fall towards my neck a little bit. Okay. Okay. If you see me do this is typically my sign that there's some tongue tension. Okay, so it's tip of the tongue, get it right back up there to the gum ridge. All right, and that's a reminder. And you can hear it. You know, as a choir director, you can hear that. You can hear that, and it's pretty easy to, when it's not there, it sticks out pretty immediately. All right. And then the last thing again then is the larynx tension. Frankly, I don't deal a lot with it in the chorus because it's an individual problem. All right, individuals have to work on it. And I give a lot of the guys voice lessons. Every once in a while, you'll probably notice some guys around you singing like this. And they're just checking it out. They're just making sure that it's staying down there even when they're singing high in their range. All right, so, and you're more than welcome to use any and all of these tools wherever you go. That's what this is all about. Okay, questions? Tension questions, particularly.
How can you relax your larynx?
How can you relax it?
What's a good way to relax it?
I think everybody do a vocal fry. This is German, F-R-E-I, fry. And it's a great little teaching tool. Everybody go, into your fry. Let it rattle around on there. Okay? Your larynx is very relaxed right there. Okay? And so if you really struggle with the tension, I would start there. I would start with the fry and then come out of that into notes. So for instance,